Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. I hope all of you are having a good day. We are closing in into another very successful F1 weekend, and I was really excited for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. But I'm excited every week, and I will keep saying it. I'm excited for the next race in Miami. I'm excited the next race after, and then the following races. I'm always excited. I'm always happy. Formula One is my true love, so I'm always going to be excited every week, regardless of if the weekend may be overrated, if the weekend might have struggles, because I know last year in Suzuka in Japan, that weekend was a little rough, with all the crazy intense rain. So that weekend was just, as a fan, it sucked because it got cut short. So uh, it was hard to enjoy, but I still was really happy for that weekend because Formula One is Formula One, and a true fan is gonna support it regardless of the circumstances and the obstacles that are put in our way. But yeah, Azerbaijan yesterday, the race has come to an end, and we're gonna say bye to Azerbaijan this year. And I want to just thank all the people, all the volunteers that put in work to make the Azerbaijan Grand Prix happen. And, you know, this year has come to wraps. And Azerbaijan is always a track that I really, really love. It's really complex. And even, like yesterday at the race, and not just the race, but also uh, qualifyings and the sprint, and basically all the weekend, many pilots have struggled, from guys like Max Verstappen to Nick De Vries, to Esteban Ocon, Pierre Gasly, uh, Alex Albon, Logan Sargent. Like, every single pilot had struggles on that circuit, and that's what made things very, very interesting. To see all the pilots struggle. So then it made more complexity. So then that led to more curiosity to see which pilot could, have the guts to have the raw talent to, you know, take over that obstacle, which was pretty huge because like there was a corner where the pilots were really like maybe centimeters close of hitting the wall, and I think in that same corner, if I'm not wrong, Logan Sargent has struggled in that corner, and he crashed his car during, I think it was a sprint qualifying, so the sprint shootout. And I think, if I'm not wrong, I think Nick DeVries also crashed in that same area. So um, it was a very, very difficult corners, but like the whole street itself was very, very complex, and I know a lot of the pilots had a few complaints there and there. So it was a very, very good race in my eyes, even though Red Bull got their one and two, of course. But regardless, I'm very happy with the race. It was a good weekend, so I want to give a very good thank you, very warm thank you to Azerbaijan and the whole country for hosting a Formula One event. Now, let's go to Ferrari. Let's talk about the main event, the main purpose of this channel. Ferrari, Charles Leclerc got a podium. Very, very happy. Very, very happy. We'll take it. First of all, to even begin with, Charles Leclerc was so happy. I mean, before the race and after the race, I know, of course, he was, as a pilot, it sucks not being P1. Of course, that's what every pilot wants. And when you don't get P1, of course, you're gonna be disappointed. You're not gonna be like the happiest of happiest. Plus, also being the fact that in the sprint qualifyings and in the qualifying itself, Charles Leclerc got P1. So, of course, it sucks that you have the P1 in qualifying, and you're just so excited. You're like, yo, this is gonna be a one hell of a race for me, and I hope I can capitalize. But then you end up getting P3 at the race. It is a bit disappointing, but as a Ferrari fan, but also lots of respect to Charles Leclerc. I do feel like, I would be happy, and I'm really happy for Charles Leclerc to even, just get a podium. That's a big achievement for this season. And I keep saying it, and I'll keep saying it again. We have a very tough season, and especially for Charles Leclerc, who in his first three races has he hasn't finished those races. Either it was with engine or he got hit. So he had no luck. So to come after three very bad races where he did not finish the race, to starting basically finally starting his season on the right path and getting a P3 as a finish, finally an official result for him, and finishing the race officially and getting a P3 is, I think, in me eyes, it's really a massive achievement. And I feel like we can get more. I feel like Charles Leclerc can really come in this season and show more talent, go for more turns, very more crispier, more deeper, and I feel like he's gonna give it more. And I feel like this year he may not be able to compete with guys like Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen, but I feel like Charles Leclerc is gonna have a good season. And we all know, I mean, to even begin with, we have to give respect to Red Bull, even though I'm not a big fan of the team. I have respect for Red Bull. They have a rocket of a car, and they are too quick on the straights, and that's how Charles Leclerc got beat. We couldn't do anything against Red Bull. Like, they were way too fast on the straights, time wise and speed wise with the car. It was just, we just could not defend. And I don't want Charles Leclerc to have a fourth not finished race in a row. So I'll take a podium. I'm really happy. And still, I would say, of course, after the three race, Charles Leclerc was really pissed off. And I don't blame him. I had the same feelings as him, and I do understand his frustration. But he seemed much happier from the other three races. After the Azerbaijan Grand Prix race, he seemed just much happier, in much better spirits than he was at the beginning of the race. No, not beginning of the race, but at the beginning of the season. So that's a very good sign. Knowing that Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc are not having and have not started the season right at all, not even close, and we have had a few shares of struggles, and we will struggle a bit in the following races. But I feel like maybe in the midway of the season, where after maybe a few races, maybe I'm saying maybe one or two more races, I feel like Ferrari will be able to compete with Red Bull. Just give them a good shot, give them a good competition. I don't personally think that we can beat Red Bull this year, but I just want to have good competition and get this, give them a good intense battle. That's, my wish for this season. So P3 for Charles Leclerc, and I'll end this video off talking about Carlos Sainz. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I was really disappointed with his performance in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and he knows himself, because I listened to his interview right after the race, and he said that he didn't give his all, and he is completely right, because I felt the same way. I felt like he just didn't give enough effort in the car. He didn't give his full percent, and he did not take the car to its full limits, and I was disappointed because I feel like Carlos Sainz can do so much more. He's just such a talented pilot, like I said, and I still believe that he's a very talented pilot, but he didn't put the car to his limits. And this is one of the biggest regrets, and this is one of the biggest mistakes a pilot could do. Formula One is an intense sport, and you have to reach his limits, because I feel like it's a regret, because how can you not know? How can you know how far can this car go and how good can this car perform if you haven't taken that car to its full limits in a very intense race? And I understand there's a concern for for a crash or the engine failure and not finishing the race. It's good thing. But I still feel like, you have, as an athlete, you have to perform. You have to give everything you get. And that's, as a fan, I would respect that even more. If, like, for example, it happened in Australia where Charles Leclerc gave it his all. He went absolutely crazy. He was trying to, get those corners, and he got hit by a Lance Stroll. And as a fan, I don't know about the others fans. I've heard a 50-50-50. So some fans were really against it and said that Charles Leclerc was too aggressive, and then some fans were really happy with him and were pissed against Lance Stroll because Lance Stroll clearly did not have the racing line secured. It was all Charles Leclerc's priority since he already won that racing line, and Lance Stroll committed a foul, a violation, and he did not get penalized. And I was one of those fans who were, very in support of Charles Leclerc and was really pissed off about the fact that Lance Stroll did not get penalized at all. And it sucked that he did not finish the race, but I was happy about the fact that Charles Leclerc gave his 100%, that he was really racing hard. I rather that than, finishing a race, but knowing that your pilot give did not put the car to his absolute limits, because that's what Formula One is all about, putting a car to its limit. That's why Ayrton Senna is the greatest pilot of all time. I know Michael Schumacher, some may say Lewis Hamilton, Michael Schumacher. I'm a big Schumacher fan. I think, in my eyes, number one, it's Ayrton Senna, and then number two, it's Michael Schumacher. But Ayrton Senna was just absolute raw talent. He put his car more towards limit. He was flying the car where he was taking the car where a human couldn't even imagine. And he even said in a few interviews that he took the car so far into its limits, like so far deep in the sky, where his human brain couldn't understand at all. So he was just like, basically he was just flying, and he was just trusting God with his process. Basically, that's insane mindset. Just going full speed, taking the car so deep where you don't, like, you're just trusting God. Basically, you're putting your whole life into God's hand and to see where the car is gonna end up. Basically, that's exactly why I feel like Senna is just he is the greatest pilot to ever do it. May he rest in peace. It really sucks, really good tragedy that he passed away so early. But that's what I'm saying. Like a guy like Senna took the car so deep and to places that even a human, like a normal human being, can't even think about. So I don't know what the excuse of Sainz could be. I mean, like, we're not telling you to go like Senna mode, but we're still expecting a good effort. We're expecting you to take the car to its 100% limits and just, put in the effort, and that's really just my point on that. And of course, I'm disappointed with Carlos Sainz, and he came in at P5. I would, I was at least expecting a P4. I'm a little disappointed in his performance. No, not even a little, but I am still disappointed in his performance, and I feel like he should have gotten a P4 at least. Um, because I feel like he did not defend properly against Fernando Alonso, and of course because of his mentality in yesterday's race, that he didn't want to go full in and give his 100% with the car and himself. Um, so that led him to being overtaken a little easy, I would say, from Fernando Alonso. But very, very, very disappointed in Carlos Sainz's performance. I feel like he could have done more. Charles Leclerc, I am happy with his. But both pilots are still great. I have great belief in them. So we stay focused for Miami. It's going to be very interesting. I feel like Red Bull is going to get a 1 and 2 because that race has a lot of straights, and Red Bull are flying on straights, and nobody can stop him. No team has found an answer to their to Red Bull's speed on the straights. So I feel like it's going to be Red Bull's race in Miami, and they're gonna win very comfortably and very easily. That's my prediction, but we never know. It's Formula One; anything could happen. But I feel like it's gonna be Red Bull's weekend. So Ferrari needs to focus on its speed and its basically not its accuracy, but just basically like its speed and figuring out how can we be faster on the straights. So we stay focused on Miami. So see you guys in the US, basically at the US Grand Prix. Of course, it's gonna be filled with celebrities. It's gonna be filled with entertainment, and it's gonna be an exciting week. It's gonna be an exciting weekend in Miami for Formula One. So see you guys there. Mad cheers to Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz. We keep believing. Forza Ferrari. Have a great day, everybody. Take care. Have a great night. Bye bye.